Can the Pistons end the longest playoff drought in the NBA? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my series where I've been analyzing every NBA team, taking a look at their offseason to evaluate how I think they'll perform this upcoming season. The team we'll be taking a look at today is the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons were a major disappointment last season, winning just 17 games, which was their worst record in franchise history. A lot of that was because 2021 number 1 overall pick Cade Cunningham played in just 12 games. Cade looked like he was an ascending star, ready to break out big time in his second NBA season, which was unfortunately cut short due to injury. All was not lost though for Detroit, as they drafted two very talented youngsters, Jaden Ivey from the University of Purdue, as well as Jalen Duran from Memphis. And both young starters ended up making the All-NBA rookie team. Jaden Ivey averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, while Jalen Duran, the big man, averaged 9 points, 9 rebounds, and a block per game. In the 2023 NBA draft, Detroit had the 5th overall pick. This was a disappointing outcome for the team as they had the worst record and had one of the best chances to get the 1st overall pick. Unfortunately, they got the lowest pick that they could get based on their finish. But fortunately for them, they were able to draft Osar Thompson from the Overtime Elite League. Him and his brother Amen were the first two players ever drafted from the newly created league that started in 2021. And Osar is a forward that has shown to be extremely effective with a great defensive acumen as well as an offensive arsenal. So in his year with Overtime Elite, he averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, while also racking up 2 steals and a block per game. And there were some doubts with this new league and how he would translate to the NBA, but he backed this up by his excellent performance in the summer league by averaging a double-double. So he had 14 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks a game, showing that he's no fluke, and he's going to be a game-changing player, I believe, for the Detroit Pistons. He'll be the starting small forward from day one, and he'll be a big addition to this ball club. Detroit had the 1st pick in the 2nd round, which they packaged with 2 second-round picks to acquire the draft rights to Marcus Sasser. So Marcus Sasser was a 4-year player at the University of Houston, and in his senior season, he averaged 17 points per game while shooting 38% from 3. I don't believe he'll have a role to start the season for the Pistons. Two other moves that Detroit made was exercising the team options for Alec Burke as well as Isaiah Livers. So Livers was a guy that had a role last season. I believe he will once again be a rotational level player for Detroit, but he's dealing with an injury and he might be sidelined for about 6 weeks. So starting of the season, he won't be healthy enough to play. Then we look at Alec Burks, who played a very good role with Detroit last season, played about 20 minutes a game and averaged 13 points per game, and he shot over 40% from 3 the last 3 seasons. So he'll once again have a very important role for the Detroit Pistons as a backup guard off the bench that can put the ball in the hoop. Next, Detroit handed Isaiah Stewart a 4-year, $60 million rookie scale extension. This is a bit surprising as Isaiah had averaged 11 points and 7 rebounds, shot 44% from the field and 33% from 3. Detroit has 3 quality big men, Jalen Duran, as well as James Wiseman and Marvin Bagley III. So it's a bit strange to see where Isaiah fits in. I believe the team might view him as a backup 4. So he may start with that sort of role to begin the season behind Bogdan Bogdanovic. Then Detroit did make 2 very significant trades, the first of which was acquiring guard forward Joe Harris from the Brooklyn Nets and 2 second-round picks from the team. The Nets basically dumped Harris's salary to get out of the luxury tax, and Detroit in the process acquiring an asset that's very valuable for their floor spacing. Joe has been an excellent career 3-point shooter where he's averaged 44%, and he'll be a great option for Detroit's bench. Next, the Pistons acquired Monty Morris from Washington for a 2nd rounder. Monty has always been a very good but never great player. He averaged 10 points and 4 assists in his career, while shooting 48% from the field and 39% from three. He'll be tasked on to back up Cade Cunningham, taking some pressure off of him coming back, from a very serious injury. So good move acquiring Monty as well. One very noteworthy move made by the Pistons was their coaching change. So they fired Dwayne Casey at the end of last season, and they brought in Monty Williams, formerly of the Phoenix Suns. They gave him a very lucrative contract offer, 6 years and $78.5 million. Monty has a very good track record in the NBA, making the playoffs 5 out of 10 seasons, as well as winning Coach of the Year with the Phoenix Suns, and he's made one NBA Finals appearance. I think he'll be a great guy to help develop this young core of the Detroit Pistons. Overall, the Detroit Pistons are a really young team with 4 of their 5 starters age 22 or younger. It'll take some time for the youngsters to really figure it out and find ways to win in the NBA. But I think Detroit handled the offseason really well. They brought in a couple of veterans in Harris as well as Monty Morris to help promote competition across the board and encourage and motivate the youngsters on improving their individual game. Overall, I think the Detroit Pistons will be a fun team. They'll be a team that people may want to watch, and they'll compete from night to night. But I don't expect them to make the playoffs this upcoming season. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Thank you again.